Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Your MCQ 3 was easy. How was it? How was the exam?
Easy. Ma'am.
Very easy. How many of you got full marks? Raise your hands. Okay. Those who lost just 1 mark? Just 1 mark. Okay. So those who have lost 1 or 2 marks, next time try to get full marks. Okay. So we were learning about fertilization, isn't it? Before the exam, we were learning about fertilization under the chapter reproduction in animals. And you know, we learned what is meant by fertilization. Who is remembering the definition that we learned? Fertilization. What is meant by fertilization? Lynette?
Ma'am.
Anybody?
The process by which male gametes and female gametes fuse together to form a zygote is known
Very
as
good, very good.
fertilization.
The process by which sperm and egg or the male and female gamete fuse together to form a zygote is known as fertilization. So till there we had completed. So let us continue. Okay. The first step in the process of reproduction is the fusion of the sperm and ovum. So in sexual reproduction, you know that two parents are needed and they'll produce gametes. Male parent will produce male gametes. Female parent will produce female gametes. Male gametes are known as sperms. Female gametes, ova. So the first step in sexual reproduction is the fusion of sperm and the egg. Sperm will fuse with the egg and they will form a single cell known as zygote. When sperms come in contact with an egg, so many sperms, millions of sperms are being produced, and even though many sperms come in contact with the egg, as you can see in the picture, only one will be fusing with the egg. One sperm can fuse, only one sperm can fuse with the egg. If more eggs are there, more sperms will get a chance. Okay, so at a time, egg will fuse with only one sperm. A single sperm fuses with a single ovum. If two ova are there, two sperms will get a chance to fuse with the egg. Other sperms will be rejected. One will fuse with the egg. All the other sperms will be rejected. During fertilization, the nuclei, you know that sperms as well as ova, they are single celled structures. They have just one cell. They have cytoplasm, nucleus, and the nucleus of the sperm will fuse with the nucleus of the egg. Nucleus of the sperm during the time of fertilization, nucleus of the sperm will fuse with the nucleus of the egg and they will form a single nucleus, and that structure you call it as zygote. You can see the nuclei of sperm and egg, they are fusing together to form a single nucleus, and we call that structure which is formed as zygote. Zygote is formed by the fusion of sperm and ovum. When sperm and ovum fuse, the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the egg to form a single nucleus. And this fusion will result in the formation of a single celled structure known as fertilized egg or zygote. The fusion of the egg and the sperm resulting in the formation of a zygote is known as fertilization. So that you know what is meant by fertilization. Now, let's see what will happen to the zygote once it is formed. Now, you know, as a result of sexual reproduction, a zygote is formed. Now, what will happen to the single celled structure? You know that we all have developed, formed from the single celled structure known as zygote. Zygote is having only one cell, but we are multicellular with all the different organs, organ systems. So, how such a multicellular organism is formed from the single celled structure known as zygote? So, let's see. The zygote formed by fertilization. Who can tell me where does fertilization take place? Anybody?
In the
Oviduct.
oviduct.
Oviduct. Very good. Fallopian tube or oviduct. And here in the picture, let me take the pen. In the picture, you can see this part is the oviduct. What you see here, this is the oviduct till here. This is the uterus. So here is the fusion taking place. So this is the ovary. From the ovary, egg will be released. It will reach here. There the fusion with the sperm takes place and zygote will be formed. And now what happens? Once the zygote has formed, it will divide rapidly. You can see it starts dividing, keeping on dividing. And the number of cells will increase. It was just one cell. It becomes 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, like that. The division goes on. And it forms a ball of cells. You can see in the picture, ball of cells is formed. These cells will form different tissues and organs of the body. So gradually, zygote is single cell, but it keeps on dividing and forms a multicellular structure, or it forms a ball of cells, a mass of cells, and slowly, these cells will get differentiated to form tissues. You know, tissue is a group of cells having similar function. They form tissues, then a group of tissues with similar function form organs, then organ systems. So all these formation will take place. So that developing structure, okay, that is known as embryo. Zygote is single cell structure, but embryo is a multicellular structure. It's a ball of cells undergoing development, forming tissues, organs, etc. So once the embryo has formed, so zygote formation is taking place in the fallopian tube or oviduct. But once it is formed, embryo, it will come and get attached to the wall of the uterus. So this is the uterus, and it will come and get attached to the uterine wall for further development. And there inside the uterus, further development takes place. Once the embryo has got attached to the uterine wall, it undergoes further development, forms body parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears. So different body parts will be formed. So that stage, the stage of the embryo where we can distinguish the body parts, you call it as a fetus. Now I'll tell you the difference between these three structures. Zygote. Zygote is single celled structure which is formed by the fusion of sperm and ovum. Whereas embryo is a multicellular structure. It consists of many cells, or you can say it's a mass of cells undergoing development. Embryo will come and get attached. It slowly moves down and from the fallopian tube, and it gets attached to the uterine wall. And once it has got attached to the uterine wall, further development takes place and it develops, or this mass of cells get differentiated into different organs. So the embryo, the stage of embryo where you can distinguish the different body parts, then you call it as fetus. In embryo, we cannot make out the body parts. It's just a mass of cells. But slowly, it forms the different parts of human beings. So then when the body parts can be distinguished, you call it as fetus. Fetus is formed by the further development of the embryo. And This fetus further undergoes development. All these parts will be fully formed. And once the fetus is fully formed, the mother will deliver the baby. The mother will give birth to baby. And this is how we all have been formed. We all are delivered. We all were delivered by our mother. So first we were in the zygote form, then we developed into embryo and later became fetus. And when the fetus was fully formed, mother delivers the baby. Any doubt, children? Did you understand the difference between these three structures? Zygote, embryo, fetus. Is it clear?
Yes.
Ma'am.
Okay. Now next we are going to learn about two types of fertilization. Fertilization, anyways you have understood what is meant by fertilization. But fertilization can be two types depending upon where it is taking place, whether it is inside the body of the female or outside the body of the female. So just now when I asked you, where does fertilization take place? You told me oviduct or fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is a part of female reproductive system. It's inside her body. And when it is taking place in the fallopian tube or inside the body of the female, you can call it as internal fertilization, inside. But in some organisms, it is taking place outside, not inside the body of the female, like frogs, fish, etc. The fertilization process is taking place outside the body of the female, then you call it as external fertilization. So let's see. Internal fertilization is the process of fertilization in which the gametes fuse or fertilization is taking place inside the body of the female. Internal, inside. So it is taking place inside the body of the female. And there are many examples, including us, human beings, cows, dogs, birds. All these are examples for organisms where internal fertilization takes place. Now let's see external fertilization. External fertilization, same as we said, it's a method or a type of fertilization where the fusion of gametes is taking place outside the body of the female, not inside, outside. So for example, if you take the case of frogs or fish, frogs, the female frogs will lay eggs in water. They'll release eggs in water. And male frogs will release sperms into water. And in water, the sperms will fuse with the egg. The process is not taking place inside the female's body, but it is taking place in outside medium. In fish also, the same way it happens. Aquatic animals such as fish, starfish, even frog also, external fertilization takes place. Females lay eggs in water and males will deposit sperms over them. Each sperm will swim in water, randomly in water, with the help of the long tail. You know, sperms are having long tail. So with the help of the tail, they'll swim, reach the egg and fuse with them, resulting in fertilization. So in some animals, the fusion of the gametes is taking place inside the body of the female. Then you call it as internal fertilization. Whereas in some other animals like fish, frogs, starfish, etc., fertilization or the fusion of gametes is taking place outside the body of the female. What do they, or how it will happen? The females will lay eggs in water and the males will release sperms into water. And these sperms, with the help of the long tail, they'll swim and reach the egg and fuse with them resulting in the formation of a zygote or bringing about fertilization. Clear, children?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
doubt means you can ask. So we learned about external and internal fertilization. Then what else we learned? The process of fertilization we discussed once again, and then we learned what will happen to the zygote. Zygote will change into a mass of cells known as embryo. Embryo will undergo further development. Once it gets implanted on the or get attached to the uterine wall, it forms body parts like eyes, ears, nose, head, etc. And once the body parts can be distinguished, that stage of embryo we call as fetus. And another very important topic, why do fish and frogs lay eggs in hundreds, whereas hen lays only one egg at a time? That you might have noticed at a time, birds or like hen and all, they will lay only one egg, just one egg at a time. But at a time, fish, frogs, they will release or they'll produce hundreds of eggs. Okay? And what could be the reason? Can anyone tell me why fish, frogs? Already you learned the main difference between them. Fish, frogs, etc. They lay, fish, frogs, etc. lay hundreds of eggs. Whereas organisms like mammals, human beings, bird, they are laying, like I told you the example of hen, it's laying one egg at a time. Can anybody guess what could be the reason? Anybody? Adigesh, let it be wrong, no problem. Once again, I'll repeat the question. At a time, birds like hen lay only one egg. But frogs will lay, frogs, fish, etc. will lay hundreds of eggs. Any reason, Adigesh? Huh? What is the main difference? Where is fertilization taking place?
I mean, internal fertilization taking place inside the body of the female.
Okay.
But in external fertilization, it's taking place in outside the body of the female.
So in fish and frogs, external fertilization is taking place. So what is the drawback? So why they should lay hundreds of eggs when it is external fertilization?
And because it's not taking place inside.
So what is the advantage of taking place inside? Any
The
advantage?
seeds.
I'm protected.
That's it. So more protection. When fertilization is taking place within the body, more protection because it's safe inside the body of the female. But when external fertilization is taking place, these eggs and sperms are released in water or into the outside medium. So it can be eaten by predators. So if you take the case of fish and frogs, they are aquatic animals. Means a frog is an amphibian, but still for laying eggs, they come to water. So these eggs are laid or released in water, and these eggs can be carried by water currents. It can be eaten by predators. So if just one egg is laid, if that is taken away by the water current, or if it is eaten by some other animals, then no egg will be left. So reproduction won't take place. A new organism cannot be formed. So in order to ensure the fertilization of at least few of them, they are producing maximum number of eggs. Clear, children? So they lay hundreds of eggs and release millions of sperms into water. But all the eggs are not getting fertilized because since they carry out external fertilization, the eggs which are laid, they are exposed to the external surroundings. It can be carried away by water currents, wind, rainfall, or it can be eaten by predators. So they will lay maximum number of eggs, so that at least not the entire 100 will form new organism, or they cannot form zygote and develop into new individual, but at least a few of them will be surviving. So that is why they are laying maximum number of eggs. And another reason for that is, see children, in the picture you can see some jelly like thing with some black dot inside. Can you see it? It looks
Yes,
like cuscus. You have seen cuscus. Some people, they soak it in water and add it to lime juice and all, so that it gives a cooling effect to our body. It's good to have it. So it resembles cuscus, but it is not cuscus actually. These are frogs eggs. And if you compare frog's egg with a bird's egg, in case of bird, take the case of hen's egg, which you're more familiar with, it's having a hard outer covering. Am I right? Definitely it will break if you drop it down, but still it's having a hard outer covering. But see the case of frog's egg. Do they have any hard outer covering? A
no.
jelly like, a gelatinous substance is only giving protection to the eggs. That is also another reason. So they don't have any hard outer covering like that of birds. And these eggs are covered by a jelly like substance or a gelatinous covering only they have. So that also is a reason for laying maximum number of eggs. So protection which these eggs get is less. So in order to ensure the fertilization of maximum number of eggs, they lay many eggs, hundreds of eggs. In hens, as we already discussed, internal fertilization takes place and the eggs laid are protected by a hard shell. So producing large number of eggs and sperms will ensure fertilization of at least a few of them. Is it clear? The point is clear, children?
Yes,
Yes or no? If you have any doubts, you can ask, but when I ask you the question, I should get the points. You want me to repeat it again? Fadil, you want me to repeat it?
No, ma'am.
Taro, understood. Okay. Children, we learned about external and internal fertilization and the different stages, or once a zygote has formed, what are the different stages it is undergoing before the new baby is being delivered. Baby is being delivered by the mother. So the first one is zygote. Zygote is formed when sperm fuses with the egg. Am I right? And what will happen to the zygote? Once zygote is formed as a result of fertilization, what will happen next? Ritvik, why your videos off? Ritvik? Ritvik, are you there? Lakshmi, tell me the answer.
Ma'am.
Ritvik, what happened? Any
Ma'am,
connectivity problem?
Ma'am, it is saying failed to start video in the top
Okay,
right
okay,
corner.
no problem. You tell me the answer. You got the question? You understood the question?
No, ma'am.
My question is, once zygote is formed, what is the next stage it undergoes? Zygote is formed already. Now what is next? Ritvik, are
Ma'am,
you here? Okay, I'll get back to you later. Lakshmi,
Yes, ma'am.
what happens to the zygote? What is the next step, next stage? Zygote is single cell structure. Now what will happen to the zygote?
The first step is the process of
Louder,
reproduction.
louder.
The first step is the process of
That I
reproduction.
understood. First step is the fusion of sperm and egg and we get a zygote. Zygote is single cell. Now what is the next stage? Who can tell me the answer?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes,
zygote is
Amin.
single celled.
Lakshmi and Ritvik, listen carefully. You will get the question again. Yes, Amin?
Ma'am, zygote is single celled.
Ah.
So next step it will have more and more cells.
What do you call that state? Oh?
At last, hands and
No,
legs.
now you told me that it will be dividing and forming more cells. What do you call that stage? Starting with E. Huh?
Ma'am, embryo.
Ma'am,
Embryo. I mean, what do you call that stage?
Embryo.
Embryo. So zygote is single cell structure. It undergoes repeated divisions and form a mass of cells which you call as embryo. Now Pooja, what is next? Once embryo has formed, now what is next? Unmute first. Where do they get attached? Embryo will get attached where? I can't hear you. Any problem in the audio? Speak, try to speak. Let me check whether I can. Yes. What will happen to the embryo now? Embryo will remain in the fallopian tube, or will it move and get attached somewhere? What happened? Any audio problem? Nivedya?
Yes, ma'am.
What happens? Where do they get attached?
Ma'am, they get attached to the uterus.
They will get attached to the uterus. They will get attached to the wall of the uterus. And do they undergo further changes, Adigesh? What happens now?
Yes.
Wait. Embryo has got attached to the uterus. Now what happens?
When it gets attached to the embryo, it starts development of head, its head, hand, legs, and
Okay, different body parts will be formed. And what do you call it? What do you call that structure? That stage of embryo where you can distinguish the body parts. What do you call that stage? Who can tell me the stage name?
Fetus.
Fetus. You call it as fetus. Adigesh, what is that?
fetus.
Fetus. F-O-E-T-U-S. And Lakshmi, where are you? Can you just quickly summarize? Did you understand what they said?
Yes, ma'am.
Quickly summarize, starting from zygote.
The zygote formed by fertilization divides into small balls of cells.
And what do you call that structure?
Embryo.
Embryo. Then
This embryo gets attached to the uterus.
very good. Then
It gradually develops body parts like hand.
and what do you call it then?
Fetus.
Fetus. Good. And once the fetus is fully grown, the mother will deliver the baby. And after that, we discussed about two types of fertilization: internal and external fertilization. Surya, tell me what is meant by internal fertilization. Surya Dev.
Ma'am, internal fertilization takes place in the body of the organism.
In the body of the organism means which gender?
Female.
Female. So when the fertilization or the fusion of gametes is taking place inside the body of the female, you call it as internal fertilization. Can you give one example? Amin, give me one example. Yes?
Can you repeat the question?
Example for an organism where internal fertilization takes place.
Humans.
Human being, cows, dogs, cats. And Vaishnavi, what is external fertilization?
Ma'am, the fertilization which takes place outside the body of the female.
Can you give examples?
Ma'am, fish.
Fish. Then one more example.
And aquatic animals.
Aquatic animals like fish, and one more. Just now we were discussing. Yes, frog. And then we learned that frogs, fish, etc., they lay hundreds of eggs, whereas birds like hen lays one egg at a time. What is the reason? We discussed it. Who can tell me the answer? Anybody? Try. Yes, Fadil. Good. Very good. Now try.
Ma'am, because they do not have hard outer cover, so it will be damaged or anything will happen. And
okay, 1 point. Agree. Now next point.
Sometimes there with the waves of the water, it will damage. Then the predators of animals will eat.
Predators also can eat. But all these will happen because what type of fertilization is taking place in them?
external.
That's the main point that you should mention, okay? Because external fertilization takes place, and because of that reason, eggs are exposed to the external conditions. It can be carried away by wind or water, or it can be spoiled by means of rainfall, or can be eaten by predators. Who can repeat this? Who can repeat? Lakshmi Nanda, just try. You joined now?
No, ma'am, I was having some net issues.
Did you hear the answer? You'll be able
Yes,
to answer. Okay, try. Try.
Frogs lay eggs using external fertilization. So there are chances of predators eating their eggs. Also, it is exposed to the environment where there is a wind movement, water movement.
Yes.
So it may damage the egg.
Okay. One more point I said. What covers the frog's eggs?
Ma'am, a jelly-like
A
substance.
jelly-like covering. Whereas in hen, the eggs of hen are covered by a
hard shell.
hard shell. Okay. Pooja, your connectivity is better now? Not able to hear. Check it, okay? Before next class, you find out what is the problem. So let us continue, children. Next, we are going to learn about in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization, IVF. You might have heard about IVF, in vitro fertilization. Let's see what is meant by in vitro fertilization. In vivo and in vitro. Vivo and vitro, the difference is that vitro means when that in vitro fertilization means fertilization is taking place outside the body. Okay. And in vivo fertilization means taking place inside the body. Normally, in human beings, fertilization is taking place inside the body of the female. You already learned it. But under certain circumstances, fertilization is carried out clinically or under laboratory conditions. The fertilization is carried out, or they are under laboratory condition. The sperm is fusing with the egg outside the body. Now let's see why it is necessary and under which conditions this method is carried out. Some women, they are unable to bear babies. They cannot produce, they cannot conceive because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. If fertilization has to take place, definitely the sperm should fuse with the egg. But sometimes there can be a block in the oviduct. You know, it's in the oviduct. What happens? What takes place in the oviduct? Anybody? Yes, fertilization takes place in the oviduct. So if there is a block there in the oviduct, so the process cannot take place. So they are unable to conceive. So in such cases, what is done is doctors collect freshly released eggs and sperms. So the male gamete is collected from the female and the male gamete, so sperms are collected from the male parent, and the egg and the sperm is allowed to fuse under laboratory conditions. As I already told you, normal conditions, it's taking place inside the body of the female. But this is a treatment for people who are infertile by some reason or by a block in the oviduct. If they cannot produce, if they cannot conceive, so there are different alternative techniques to enable them to have babies. So one such technique is in vitro fertilization. So here eggs and sperms are collected from the respective parents, and under laboratory conditions they fuse them. So the doctors, under laboratory condition, the sperm will be made to fuse with the egg, and then this under This will be under observation, and in case there are chances that fertilization may or may not occur. It cannot be 100% success, may or may not occur. And if fertilization takes place, the zygote formed will be allowed to develop for 1 week. 1 week, the zygote will develop or will grow under laboratory conditions. And when the zygote is 1 week old, at that time, it will be introduced into the uterus of the mother. So when the zygote completes 1 week, it will be introduced into the mother's uterus, and further development will take place just like any other baby. Only that fertilization process, because under natural conditions, there was some problem in fertilization or in the carrying out of fertilization. So it is made to carry out, or it is done under laboratory conditions. And once the zygote is formed, for 1 week, it is observed under the laboratory conditions. So doctors will be observing it, and once the zygote is formed, it will be allowed to grow for 1 week there in the special medium or under the laboratory conditions, and then it will be introduced into the mother's uterus, and further development takes place just like any other baby. And such babies, or babies born through this technique, you call it as test tube baby. So test tube symbolizes the laboratory condition. Have you heard about test tube babies, children? Yes or no? Children, you can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard about test tube babies? No. Test tube babies doesn't mean that the babies are born inside the test tube. But here, the fertilization, the first step is made to carry out under laboratory conditions. And once the zygote is formed, further development will be taking place again inside the mother's uterus. So this I'll be repeating again next class. Okay. So once again, I'll be repeating next class. If you haven't understood, not to worry. So it's already time. Okay, children. So I'll be repeating it next class again. Thank you. Thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am.